everyone, good morning. Today is going to be a little different. We aren't cooking anything today. We are just going to be cleaning my fish tank, if you haven't seen what's right in front of you yet. So this is Hannah. She is about, I don't remember when I got her specifically, but she's about 10 years old. Obviously I've had her for a while. I had her before I met Greg, and we met in 2010, so it's been 10 years. She is a trooper. She's been through a lot. I got 2 fish originally. The other one, Chester, unfortunately didn't make it. And then I got her another roommate, Chip. He also didn't make it. And then Greg and I got another one with like the bulby eyes. I don't think we ever named him. I don't remember. He also didn't make it. So Hannah is just gonna be living on her own probably for the rest of her life. I'm beginning to think that she might be like poisonous or something. I don't think so. You all know that most goldfish aren't survivors. They're not bred to live a long time. I don't know what it is about it. I forget. I remember reading about it somewhere along the road, and they're just not meant to do that. But if you do get a healthy one, they can live for up to 40 years, which is pretty insane. So she's 10, she's got 30 years to go, and we are gonna just live our best life. Huh, Hannah? I don't know if she's a girl, by the way. I don't really know how to check, but I call her Hannah and I call her a her, so we're going with it. So today we're gonna clean out her tank because it is obviously looking a little green, a little rough. I do have some new things to put in her tank because a couple of the things in there are breaking. So we're gonna take those out, toss them. We're gonna give her fresh water and kind of clean the beads on the bottom. Save a couple of things in there, but we're getting rid of most of it. I do have a pitcher of water here. It has been sitting for about 2 days. I know that like if you're just got a goldfish and you really want it to live a long time, you have to be really careful about tap water because it has chlorine in it. And if you let it sit for 24 hours or more, the chlorine kind of evaporates, I guess. So the water is safe for the goldfish. Hannah's pretty strong. I could probably just put her in regular tap water and she would be fine. But I let it sit anyway. I'm going to use my fancy fish net to get her out of her tank. She really doesn't like it, so it's gonna be a little bit of a fight. And then I have another pitcher here to kind of scoop the water out. Basically empty it a little bit as we go so that I can start reaching the things in there. Are you ready? Sorry, Hannah, you're going for a wild ride today. Hope you're ready. See how she reacts. She's already fighting me. Come on, Hannah, get in the net. Just get in the net. You know you're gonna be fine. I won't hurt you. All right, up we go. Nope, you didn't make it. Hannah. Okay, I got her. I didn't get her. Sometimes it's a little easier if you empty some of the water out of the tank first. All right, she's in there. Now she's in here. I always get super scared. I feel so bad like moving her because I know she doesn't like it. All right, that part's out of the way. Now we can empty the water out of here. I'm gonna move the strainer out of the way. So I have my fish tank right next to my kitchen sink, which is pretty convenient, but having the pitcher is really helpful. You can like take water out, carry it to like your bathtub or your sink somewhere else in your house. That works nicely, but having it right next to my sink is awesome. We are planning on moving her eventually. She won't be on our kitchen island forever. We do want to get a little table for our entryway over here, and we're gonna put her over there, I think. We don't know yet. We still can't find like a table that we both really like. So we're waiting on that process, but eventually she's gonna find a new home. A home in our home. She's not leaving our home. She's just gonna find a new location in our home. So some of the things are starting to pop out of the water so I can kind of grab them. They are absolutely disgusting and slimy, so that's fun. So as you can see, this one broke. It's from SpongeBob, if you didn't know. It used to have a little pipe coming out right here, and that broke off a while ago, and I'm just done with it. Every time I clean her tank, I soap up all the stuff and like scrub it with a brush, and it's kind of eroding away a little bit of the paint on some of the things. So that one, I'm done with that. She does have this little tree that I think I'm gonna get rid of because I got some new ones. And that one's not as fun, so. I think I'm gonna keep the bikini bottom lifeguard chair though. I really like it. There's nothing wrong with it. I'll probably give it a good scrub. This thing is kind of starting to look gross, so I think I'm gonna get rid of it. And then she has a little turtle here. It was one of her first things, and some of the paint is coming off of it, but I still think it's good. I'm gonna keep the turtle, I think, for now. And we will just continue scooping out the water. In the bottom of her tank, I have little like pebbles. And when I was in 4th grade, we played the game Mancala in class and like for free time in class. And it's like the little beads from that. So they sell them at like the dollar store. I think that's where I got them, was at the dollar store. They're really easy to clean because they are glass, but they do break sometimes. So every time I clean her tank, I go through them and make sure there's not any sharp ones because she does like dig through them when her food falls to the bottom. So I try to take out the broken ones pretty regularly. So I use like an old strainer and I just pour the beads into that. Obviously the water runs through it and the strainer ends up collecting the pebbles. We're probably at the point now where the tank is light enough for me to move it. I'm gonna move Hannah over here and slide this around. Now I can reach it a little bit better. Now I'm just gonna wipe my counter down because she does enjoy a little splash every now and then when she's swimming around. And she gets stuff all over the counter sometimes. So I'm just gonna wipe down the counter underneath where her tank goes, and then we will continue cleaning her actual tank. So my counter should be fairly clean. I do like to do this process when I have a sponge that's like old and starting to smell, because then I don't feel like I'm wasting a sponge. Take my sponge and I literally just scrub this down with some soap and water. Using dish soap, obviously you want to rinse all of that out really well. I can't imagine that dish soap is healthy for fish to swim in. And then our water here, I think it's pretty hard. Like it has a lot of minerals in it and it leaves a lot of marks on the tank, like when the water starts to evaporate. Maybe one day I'll get like a filter and I won't have to do this so often. That's an idea. And you know what's really cool is our sink has one of these guys, so I don't have to tilt the tank all around. And then the tank is obviously right next to my kitchen sink. So when I'm washing dishes, I splash the side of it a little bit when I get a little crazy. So I'm just gonna wipe that down with some paper towels, just to give her a clean window to look through. I think that is fairly clean. And then I'm just gonna put it back in place. And now I can get to filling the tank back up. I do wanna put these in there, but it does say you have to like wash them before you do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and wash them. I don't really know how I want to do the layout of this yet. I was thinking of doing that kind of in the middle there. And then I've got these 2 little plants. I like to give her a little space so she could go around the border a little bit without getting roughed up by her decorations. This one's really cool. It's got like 3 plants in one. And I just like how it's so colorful. I hope she likes her new stuff. Maybe I'll put this kind of towards the front more. I feel like this is a lot of stuff. I do want to put the turtle in there. Let me clean that off. Put turtle over here. And then I was thinking of putting the chair back in there, but there's not really a lot of space. I'm gonna see if it looks okay. Maybe I'll put the plant over here and then the chair there. How's that look? I think that's good. So the next step is to start filling it with water. Some of the decorations, like obviously the pineapple is like hollow in the middle. So you have to be careful when you're filling it with water because they'll start to float. That can sometimes be annoying. I know that the chair does it a little bit, but everything else I think is fine. The turtle is like a solid piece. And then that new thing obviously has holes in the top, so it should be fine. And then you wanna make sure that you're using water that's like room temperature if you're gonna put your fish in right away. If not, you can leave them in that separate container for another 24 hours. And the water will not only become the right temperature for room temperature, but it will also do the chlorine evaporation. I'll probably wait a couple hours and put her in a little bit later today, just because I know that the temperature thing can put your fish into shock and then they die, so that's not good. This is another reason why it's very convenient having her tank right next to the kitchen sink, is that I can use the hose to fill it. Otherwise, you can just use the pitcher again and just carry it pitcher by pitcher to fill the tank up. I know if I use that pitcher to fill it, it takes about 10 of them. I mean, it's 10 gallons, so if you have a gallon pitcher, it's gonna be 10 pitchers. Another way to avoid the temperature shock thing, especially when you just get a goldfish from the store. You know how they come in a bag of water? You can fill up your tank and float the bag of water in there, and it'll help the bagged water. It'll like even out the temperature between the tank water and the bag water so that it'll be more of a gentle transition. Lifeguard chair is starting to wobble a little bit, meaning that there's an air bubble in there. That's the reason why I wait to put the beads back in, because I'll want to rearrange these things as the water goes in. Probably let the air bubble out. There we go. And then sometimes the plants will hold on to little air bubbles on them. This orange one is doing it a little bit, so it might float. And the base of it isn't as big as the other one, so it's not as heavy. So we'll see what happens with that one. Maybe I'll shake it a little bit, try to get those air bubbles off of it. So now I'm going to start cleaning my beads. So I'm just gonna run some warm water and some soap over these beads. All right, so those are pretty clean, and now I'm just going to drop them into the water. But while I do that, I'm going to like go through them and look for the broken ones. So surprisingly, I only found one broken piece of glass, and it was only literally just broke like that. And that is it. Oh, I do have some like water conditioner. I have like a couple different kinds, but I'm gonna use this one. It's called Prime Concentrated Conditioner for Marine and Fresh Water. Detoxifies ammonia, nitrite, and nitrate, removes chlorine and chloramine. So with this, I don't think you have to wait as long to put your fish back in the water, but I am gonna wait just because of the temperature thing. I don't want her to go into shock from that, because I feel like it did. It's like room temperature actually, let me see. Okay, it's a little warmer than the water that's in her pitcher, so I'm gonna let it cool down a little bit, because I was washing all the stuff with warm water, so I'm sure all that stuff was warm when I put it in there. But I'll add some of this. You need like barely any of it. What does it say? 1 capful for each 50 gallons. This is only a 10-gallon tank, so like 1/5 of a capful. Probably only a couple drops. So I'll just let that sit in there while the temperature kind of regulates itself. And we'll put her in there in a little bit. And I'll show you guys what she looks like when she is home and in her new habitat, and she can start developing her new microbiome. Let me know if you liked this video by giving it a thumbs up down below. If you want to see more from me, you can go ahead and subscribe or follow me here. I try to post every Saturday, so if you want to see my videos as soon as they are available, they are usually posted Saturday early in the morning. I try to schedule them in advance so that way they're always the same time. Thank you for watching this week. I know it's a little different not having a cooking video this week, but I still hope you enjoyed it. I will be back again next week, probably with some food. So if you are looking for a new recipe, make sure to be here next Saturday and I will have something new for you. Thanks for watching. Bye.